Yo, Kpaceguy here. What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing today? Today's video is going to be pretty cool, and I think a lot of you guys are going to appreciate this one. Now, a couple days ago, I posted to the community on YouTube, and I asked you guys a question. And what I said was, if you had to choose one video from Kpaceguy to make within reason, what video would you want to see? And Jay Just Games, who's been a subscriber for a while, we're pretty familiar with each other, he replies back with, "This is hard because you covered all the how-to videos. But for me personally, I would love a video for entry-level amplifiers for lower-end speakers. Is there a certain wattage your speakers should be before you consider using an amplifier with a receiver? Is it worth it with lower-end speakers like a Polk T series or a Sony's Core series, etc.? There are so many people with entry and mid-level home theaters that don't get enough attention, in my opinion." So we're going to change that here today, guys. We're going to address this question directly. So we're going to go to the media room. We're going to talk about amplifiers and when you should get one and why. And I think I'll be able to answer this question for you, Jay Just Games. So let's do it. So before we talk about amplifiers and if you need one, we have to talk about what they are. And I'm going to use mine for example. On the top here is a Monolith 7X 7-channel amplifier, and just below it is an Emotiva 2-channel amplifier. So amplifiers add extra external amplification outside of the receiver. So this is my Marantz preprocessor. Let's pretend that this is a receiver. So this is my Marantz receiver. So it has 11 channels inside of it of its own internal power that you can plug your speakers directly to. What an external amplifier does is gives you more power than what the receiver can give you. So 7 channels out of here are getting 200 watts, which my receiver can never ever do. And then the Emotiva at the bottom there gives me another 150 for 2 extra channels. So external amplification gives you more power when you need it that your receiver is never going to be able to do. And it also adds longevity to your sound system as well, because you take the workforce off of the receiver and bring it to something that's more capable of handling those power ranges. It's kind of like having a set of floor standing speakers or booktail speakers. You have a subwoofer that's going to handle all your bass so that you can take the work off of the front speakers, which in turn lets you play them louder and lets them last a little bit longer without fatiguing or damaging them. Same thing with the amplifiers. If you need more information on amplifiers, I do have a few videos talking about external amplification and then why you need it and what it does. So check my old videos. I have a playlist called How To Playlist. Check that playlist for more information on external amplifiers. External amplification comes in a variety of different sizes and different power ratings and amount of speakers you can connect to them. This is my Monolith 7, which gives me 7 channels, 200 watts to each channel. Down below is the Emotiva, that gives me 150 watts to 2 channels. And there's a 3-channel amp, you can get 5-channel, 9-channel, 11-channel, and you can kind of tailor it to whatever system you're running. And when I say channels, I'm referring to the amount of speakers that you have in your system. So for me, I have a total of 11, 7 on the floor level, and then 4 Dolby Atmos speakers in the ceiling. And so that totals to 11 different channels of amplification. And my bookshelves are around 150 to 200 watts. And we all know that receivers aren't going to give us that much power to each of my speakers evenly. So that tells me right there that I'm going to need external amplification. Now you're probably thinking, okay, Kpaceguy, I can identify if I need external amplification, but how do I know how many watts I need out of my amplifier? Well, again, it's easier to look on the speaker specifications, whether it's on the website or on the back of the speaker, and find out what your max power handling is for your speakers, and then try to find an amplifier that gets really, really close to it. Now, you don't have to be directly on it. You can be just a little bit below it or a little bit above it, and it'll be just fine. A lot of speakers can kind of give you a range. So you may see speakers that can handle 10 to 100 watts or 50 to 300 watts. You have a range that your speakers can perform in, but the closer you can get to its max setting is the best performance you're going to get out of your speaker. So for me, my speakers are about 200 to 250 watts, and so I found an amplifier that gives me 200 watts. Now there's one more thing you have to consider when you're buying an amplifier to match with your speakers. There's this thing called ohms, or impedance, and most speakers are at 8 ohms, some of them at 6, and some of them are at 4. And all this means is how much that speaker's current is going to draw from your amplifier. So amplifiers are also rated at 4, 6, or 8 ohms for most amplifiers and most home theater equipment. And you're going to want to match your speaker's ohms to the amplifier's ohms as well. Not just the power rating, but the ohms. So on some charts, some specifications, you can see that, let's say the monolith amplifier gives you 200 watts at 8 ohms. And then it may give you, let's say, 400 watts at 6 ohms and 600 watts at 2 ohms. I'm just making numbers up for you guys to visualize, but there's a different power ratings for different impedances or different ohms. So you want to match your ohms that your speaker tells you with the amplifier, because if you do not, your amplifier may not be certified to handle a certain ohms that your speakers are. So for example, if my speakers are rated at 4 ohms, I want to find a monolith or a Emotiva or whatever amplifier you want to choose. Make sure that it's also certified to handle speakers that are 4 ohms. The lower the number, the more power that speaker is going to try to draw from your receiver or from your amplifier. So if I plug a 4 ohm speaker into an 8 ohm amplifier, I'm probably going to destroy my amplifier relatively quickly. I need to match my impedance or ohms to the same number of impedance or ohms on the amplifier so that everything works together, not against each other. I know this may sound confusing for a lot of people possibly, and if it is, let me know in the comments down below, and I can probably make a video for you guys breaking down impedance just by itself so that you guys can get a better understanding. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys need extra explanations for it. I'll make a video for you guys. So let's recap one more time for you guys. So whenever you need external amplification, it means that your receiver isn't going to deliver enough power to match your speaker's rating. So you need an amplifier, external amplification, that's going to give you close to or right at the power rating that your speakers can handle. It's okay to get more power to your speakers. It's better to overpower your speakers than to underpower your speakers. So you want to get an amplifier that's as close to its rating as possible. When you're looking at amplifiers, you have to make sure that that certain amplifier not only gives you the power you need, but it gives you the power you need at the correct impedance. So one more time, if my speakers are at 8 ohms at 200 watts, I need to find an amplifier that gives me 200 watts at 8 ohms as well. And one more time for what an external amplifier does. It gives you extra power so that your speakers can perform at its best. You get the best performance out of your speakers whenever you have the right amount of power. So if you think your speakers are kind of bland and kind of dull, maybe you have to look at external amplification. Extra power, giving it all of its power, can possibly change the sound of your speakers. You may find a big increase in performance and detail and even bass when you have them at a good power rating. Not only does external amplification enhance the power, increase your power handling, but it also takes the workload off of the receiver, adding a lot more lifetime to your system and giving your system a lot more life and more power and ease of use. Now when it comes to smaller speakers that don't have a lot of power, your receiver's going to power them fine. Like Jay just was saying, a small little bookshelf, 50 watts maximum, 100 watts maximum, you'll be fine with a receiver powering all your speakers. It's no problem. But when you get to the bigger speakers like flagship Polk audio speakers or Paradigm speakers or something that has a really high power handling rating, you may want to look into external amplification. You'll probably benefit from it. So I know this could be really confusing, and I apologize if it was, but if it was, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you guys want more explanation on, and I'll continue to make videos, how-to videos for you guys so that you guys can understand it better and get the best out of your system. So guys, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about external amplification. Do you have external amplification now? And if you don't, do you think you need it? Why or why not? Leave me a comment down below, hit that like button while you're there, and subscribe if you're not already. We'll see you guys in the next video. Kpaceguy out. Peace.